Well, it is without a doubt the most unique radio show and podcast recorded in Vancouver. The chat room, I think it's safe to say. We've got two of the three hosts joining us here above the Penthouse nightclub in Tyrant Studios in the Gold Room. Joe Leary, Danny Fillipone join us. Guys, welcome. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Great to have us, Q.
You go ahead with that first question. Tell us where we are.
Okay, well, we're going to go right to Joe, and you can talk. Well, did you want to have Danny talk about the space first?
Well, I would say let's start with Danny, yeah.
Yes, all right, you're on first.
Throw
okay.
it to me. So
we want to know all about this place.
Yeah, the chat room, our podcast started about a year and a half ago. We've got a great story how that started, but when we started the podcast, we actually started it in the penthouse down below. There was only four of us at the time. It was Joe and I, Aaron, and Eddie, just the four of us. It was sort of all quiet, and as we're doing it, we thought, maybe the next episode we should take it up to the jazz room. And so we brought it up here. We sort of got cozy. And after about 4 or 5 episodes, we started looking around and realized there wasn't just 4 people, there was 10, 20, 30, and fast forward to a year and a half later, typically it becomes a Friday afternoon party, and it's a full house. So it's really taken off.
Definitely an elite party.
I was going to say, the party you want to be at, and Joe, I've known you for 100 years. I saw that you posted something recently which says a lot about this show, because you've been in radio for a long time. You said this is the work that you are most proud of.
Oh, without question. And the thing is that there's a certain intimacy and charm to it. Even though we packed this place, I call it the best party you're likely never going to get invited to. And that's not to be, demeaning to anybody. It's just, it's kind of word of mouth or friends of friends. And you walk in here in the middle of the day, and it's kind of like the Ed Sullivan Show. There's no dancing bears on unicycles or anything like that, but it's an entertainment show with a bit of a sports theme. And it's just a blast, and people love the vibe that's in the room.
Walking out in the middle of the afternoon always poses a bit of a surprise when you're exiting the penthouse at 4 in the afternoon and cars are driving by.
Very eager as well.
And the other thing
the door.
And Danny has faced this his entire life. When you tell people the penthouse, they go, the penthouse. I mean, the penthouse has a certain charm to it and has for many, many years. But this is upstairs in a private area, really nice live space. And there's the downstairs, the regular penthouse activities.
Yes.
But this is kind of like an exclusive little sublet.
And going to exclusive, the Gold Room, where we are actually right now in these gold chairs. There's quite the history here. I mean, Jackie was just bringing out old menus and that. Tell us a little bit about that, because we're gonna pan to some of those.
where we record today in the chat room studio, the Tyrant Bar. It used to be called the Gold Room. In fact, a long time ago, it used to be a restaurant called the Steak Loft. And the Steak Loft was one of the first steak restaurants, even when before Highs of Highs Encore, Highs used to purchase steak from my Uncle Joe before he even opened Highs. In fact, right over here in the corner behind one of our hidden walls that we built, if you were to take an axe and break down the wall, you would see one of those big fire pit grills where you cook steaks. It's still here. We just don't use it for obvious reasons, but it's all there, trust me.
Fire and safety for one, I guess.
Yeah. Right?
We should also say, too, one of the great locations for the Jazz Festival.
Wonderful.
We were here recently doing a segment on them. Joe, you mentioned Ed Sullivan. It's a dated reference, but I love coming to your shows because, there's a great cross-section. I mean, your last episode, you had Bill Henderson on from Chilliwack singing. I mean, there's a great cross-section of guests.
And that's what we're trying to do, because when Danny, and how this whole thing came about is it's actually quite by fluke. I was down here a couple of years ago doing a magazine article on the penthouse, and Danny, I've known Danny for a good long time, and as he's walking me out, he goes, hey, myself and Aaron Chapman were thinking about doing a podcast. You do podcasts. How do I connect the dots? I said, I'll connect the dots, but I want to be part of it, because it was going to be about the history of Vancouver, the nightlife in Vancouver, and what have you. Sportsnet said, we like it, but can you have a sports element to it? So we'll have like a Kirk McLean down here, or Tom Gallardi, owner of the Dallas Stars, down here. Walter Cosman from the Vancouver Canadians down here. So we have a sports element to it, but it's not a sports show. And literally, it was that simple. Danny just goes, can we hook it up? And within like 48 hours, he goes, hey, I got a title sponsor ready to go, and I got this sponsor,
but it's the guests that we have on the show, as you said, Jim, the guests are incredible. I mean, I don't know how how Joe comes up. There's a lot of connections going on. As I say, your Rolodex is flying at high volume. I mean, we've had politicians on the show. We've had actors. We've had comedians. We've had sports hosts.
We had the woman who streaked on the ice on the Canucks game back in the day.
We did, yes.
For which there was much hell to pay.
Yes, yeah, we did that. So there's been a lot of guests. And our lineup of guests, one more thing. Joe always says, Danny, we're going to keep this show to 3 guests. Got to keep it to 3 guests. I look on the chart today, we're at 7 guests.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
And we should bring up, you have a third host, Aaron Chapman.
Aaron Chapman, he's the local Vancouver historian. He wrote the Penthouse book, Liquor, Lust, and the Law. He's actually gone on to pen 5 other books, and Aaron sits right next to me during the chat room, and anytime someone comes on the show, Aaron refers to something dating back, and he's great to have on the show.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and we should say, I've never been up here when you guys are recording your show and it's this quiet.
Yes.
Because when you're
It's
doing
about to
your
change.
show,
This is
it
not characteristic, I will
loud,
tell you.
there's
Yeah.
some drinks,
Yes.
people talking, conversing, networking, and listening to your show. And, well, of course, we're going to enjoy being on your show. Joe, where can people find out more on the show?
You can find out more on the show, The Chat Room Tyrant Studios on Instagram, and also through sportsnet.ca/650 under shows. It airs monthly, usually on a Saturday or Sunday. On a weekend, it repeats through the week. But I encourage people to go and check out past shows
I think
because
it's
we've
on
had some great ones.
Spotify as well.
Yes.
It's on Spotify, it's on
Yeah.
Apple
Yeah.
Playlists. It's wherever you get your podcasts, as the kids say.
Wonderful.
Yeah, as we said, it is the most unique radio show podcast recorded in this city.
Well, thank you.
It's a great,
Thank you. I'll
great
take
party and a
that.
lot of fun. And we should also say, last one to you, you can also hear some great music year-round here.
Yeah, the Tyrant Studios has really turned into it was a very secretive spot for the first 2 years. Not so secret anymore. I mean, it's packed here on the weekends.
And you can go to their website, monthly
Studios.
music calendar,
Absolutely.
as Jackie pointed out, the hippest little room in Vancouver.
Yeah, it's a great spot. Come up here, come on up with your friends and check it out. And if you've had a few cocktails, you can always come visit me downstairs at the Penthouse.
We'll take place in a...
For something a little bit different than Tyrant
absolutely.
Studios.
Take and gather into a conga line, too, if I'm not
Absolutely.
mistaken.
Yeah,
Right?
listen.
Hey, it's Danny and Joe Chat Room. As Joe mentioned, you can find it and give it a listen. It's a lot of fun, and as we said, one of the most unique shows you will hear in this city. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers.